All right, Oval fans. Now, I was actually chatting with some people about this over the weekend, and also when I was making breakfast, I saw, a preview for Power Book 2 on TV, and, of course, I saw Paige Hurd on there, and I was just thinking to myself, what if Paige did not get the role of Gayle on the Oval? So just as a disclaimer, this is not shading Paige at all. This isn't me saying I wish she wasn't picked for the role. No, this is just a what if. And I think for the question at hand, it's just a simple matter of what if Tyler had another actress in the role with more availability? And let's say this person didn't have a power or, other projects to work on and would have been able to play a bigger role in season 2 and so on. I just wondered if that would have changed the dynamic of the show, and if so, how would that impact where we are now in the series? But before moving forward, make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Also hit subscribe. We are less than 1,300 people away from 190,000 subscribers. Hit that bell icon and select all, because you all know I post a lot and I don't want you to miss out on that. And also follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Now, we know that in season 2, Paige was in, was it 2 episodes, right? Okay, I think at the end of the first episode is when Jason opened the emergency hatch and the plane had to make a landing. But I don't remember if she was in the second episode. I don't think she was, 'cause I know the ending of the episode is when he pulled the hatch, and then in episode 2, the next thing we see is Jason, I believe, at the police station, and he's telling his mom, the plane made the emergency landing, and by the time, the plane landed, there were some people already there to meet us, and they grabbed Gayle and left in a car, and then they brought me to the police station. Or was he at the hospital? I forgot. But either way, if, let's say, the different actor portraying Paige was available to film season 2, would she have been written off of the show? And if not, how would that have impacted things? Like, would she have found out about, Jason killing Gayle? I think that's a given, due to the fact that she would have been brought back to the White House, assuming she didn't have to go somewhere to be, I guess you could say, have her brain rewritten. I guess I've always said, brainwashed, or experience whatever torture Victoria's parents had in mind to make her no longer want to be emancipated. I'm not going to lie. I didn't even think the emancipation thing was a real thing people can do. But then I looked into it. I'm like, oh, wait, that's what Jaden Smith did, because wasn't it last week when Will talked about how he was heartbroken when his son said he wanted to be emancipated at like age 15 or something like that? I have not purchased the Will Smith book. Part of me wants to buy it, but another part of me is like, I don't know. It just seems a bit much for me, but maybe I will get it. Will get it at some point. But regardless, I'm just wondering how things would have happened. Like, the way Jason creeped on Gayle in season 1, you have to wonder, could Gayle have maybe reeled him in a bit? Or was Jason just way off the rocker in season 2 to the point where, Gayle couldn't, I guess you could say, put him in line? That's not to say Gayle was able to control Jason in season 1, but at least they had each other to bounce off of. It's almost as if Jason wasn't completely left to his own devices, but at the same time, you had these two siblings trying to play the system. It was almost as if Gayle and Jason together were like Kevin in Home Alone. They both worked together instead of just Kevin by himself, trying to figure out ways how to get around the White House and Secret Service and things like that. So it just makes you wonder, because, yeah, remember, Gayle was in season 1, but Jason still killed Denise. Jason still killed Jean. And they were on the plane together, and Jason still killed their grandmother. But of course, we know that was in relation to killing Jean, so he can get back to the White House in order to cover up the murder. But you would think at some point he would have killed his sister, because when you really think about it, Gayle kind of made things worse for Jason. It's like the more the more Gayle fought the system, trying to be emancipated and whatnot, the more Jason got punished as a result. Hence why Jason had to go away with his sister to be brainwashed, or at least brought to a point where they can be controlled. And I think for Jason's sake, the only reason he had to go was because he was touching himself when they were at the dining room table of the restaurant they went to when they were having a brunch. And remember, it's weird to look at that scene knowing that he had just decapitated Denise. Okay, but I really wonder if the story would have changed that much, or perhaps Tyler would have written the actress portraying Gayle to still be taken away to behave and then brought back to the White House. It just makes me wonder, whenever Paige is possibly written back into the show, will she, what will the Gayle character be like? I mean, when you really think about it, aside from Jean and I think maybe even Priscilla, maybe one moment or two with Richard, Gayle never really interacted with those. I mean, with many people outside of her family, and by family, mainly her brother and mother, because damn, I don't even think her and Hunter shared the screen for more than 2 or 3 times. It's just crazy to me to think that Gayle was, the main sibling in season 1, and then she just up and disappeared. It's almost like Judy in Family Matters, or the older brother on Happy Days. Like, they're in a 1 minute you see them, they go upstairs and they're gone forever. So do you think we'll ever see, Gayle again? And what do you think that if Tyler Perry, if he had chosen another actor to portray the role of Gayle, would Gayle have been written off the series for as long as she has now? And also, I'm not mad that, Gayle is written out the series, because at least it makes sense. It isn't like on the Haves and the Have-Nots where Amanda was killed instead of just simply committed. Because at least fans can say, well, where's Amanda? Why can't we see Amanda? But at least in universe, it was because she was just written off the show via being committed, as opposed to just being killed off. Whereas, characters like Wyatt should have been in rehab like he was in season 1 and just never had to deal with him on screen every single episode. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think another actor would have changed the dynamic? I'm going to be honest here. We don't know how long the Oval's going to go. We do know they just filmed season 4. They finished up, I think, over the weekend. And let's just, I don't see how the show can go this long, but let's just say it goes for like 7-8 seasons. Do you think that if Paige never comes back to portray Gayle, that Tyler would just get another actor to portray the character anyway? I mean, we've seen it with Mama Rose in the Haves and the Have-Nots. Hell, even in, what's the show? Meet the Browns, I think Brianna was played by 2 different people. I know there are a couple examples in Haves and Have-Nots, just not Mama Rose. But when I think of like major characters, major ones, I mean, hell, the same could be said about Jasmine in House of Pain or Janine in House of Pain. The actresses are either off doing yet other projects and whatnot. It just makes you wonder what could, change. You just imagine the show gets to season 5 and he wants to write Gayle back in. Hell, even in the show, remember that Jean's corpse was portrayed by an actress that had a completely different skin complexion. Miss Laura, the housekeeper, she had a different actress at the beginning of season 2. I mean, I can go on and on. Now, I'm on a roll now. I can actually think of several more examples of this, but, just throwing it out there. Feel free to fill in the blanks. But do you think that, if Paige doesn't come back by like season 5, that Tyler will either get someone else to portray the role, or will he just simply just not bring up the character again, aside from Jason saying, you're not going to send me where my sister is, that kind of thing. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.